Dami Im was first thrust onto our television screens in 2013 as a contestant on a reality TV talent show. Since taking out X Factor, she's produced a number of albums. She's even performed for Australia in Eurovision. And Dami is heading to Orange next week as part of her latest tour, and she's joined us ahead of that show. Dami, good morning to you, and thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, you've done a lot of big things in your career on a really huge stage as well. As I mentioned, X Factor was where it really took off for you. What was it like having such a learning experience, such a big learning curve for you happening on national television?
Oh, yeah, it was a huge experience for me, because I've been a musician all my life, playing the piano and singing as well, performing in, churches and venues, small venues. But being on national television was completely new, and I just had no idea what to expect. So, yeah, just being on live TV, singing week after week, singing these songs that most of the songs I didn't even know or like really heard of before, which was different to the other contestants. And, to actually win the show was very unexpected from me. I went in thinking I'll just get, some exposure and then I'll go back to doing my own gigs and that. But it just worked out really well. And yeah, it's allowed me to continue to do what I love, which is touring, which is making albums and sharing my stories with my songs.
Yeah, you are classically trained, I understand, which I think you just alluded to there. What were those early musical influences? Was it parents? Was it grandparents? How did you get into classical music?
Well, so my mom is an opera singer, so
Wow.
so we're from Korea, and in Korea, she was doing concerts and singing, and she saw me as a kid kind of tinkling at the piano, and she thought, oh, she better get lessons. So I started getting piano lessons when I was 5, and then when we moved to Australia, um, I couldn't speak any English, obviously, but I was pretty good at the piano, so that sort of became my, refuge and my identity, and because that's where I got praised and people sort of recognized me as the music person, the music girl, piano girl. So I started to just focus on that, and I ended up getting, a classical degree at university, classical piano, even though classical music wasn't my biggest passion. It was sort of something I did because I was good at it, and I wanted to get recognized for the talent.
So music was very much a comfort for you since a very young age. Did moving to Australia change your musical path in any way, or?
When I came to Australia, I think it's made me focus on piano even more because in Korea back then, like everyone was learning the piano. It's like
Yeah.
that stereotype, like every Asian kid like playing instruments. But it was really true. Like everyone was learning, and I was okay, like pretty good at it. But everyone else was really good too. But then when I came to Australia, I went to this really tiny school in Brisbane, and I was the best at it in the whole school, including all the big high school kids. So, it really gave me that much more confidence when I was having no confidence because of my lack of English. Music was something that I knew I could hold on to, and sort of like save my pride a little
Yeah.
bit. And then I started to listen to pop songs and learn English through listening to like the Spice Girls and Kylie Minogue and what the kids were listening to at the
Yeah.
time. And yeah, that's what got me into singing eventually.
Was there any pressure on you to take up music as a career, or was this something that you were really focused and really driven around?
I think like nobody forced me that you have to do music, but I just knew, just in my head, like I always thought, yeah, I have no other choice. Like I'm gonna be a classical pianist doing recitals, and that's just, that path is set out for me. Like no one said that to me, but I just assumed I had no choice, even though that's not what I really wanted to do. Like I didn't love classical music. I just did it because I was good at it. And I actually loved pop music more, pop music and K-pop music. I was sort of secretly practicing my singing in my bedroom and recording myself after I finished my piano practice. So yeah, eventually my singing was terrible at the start, but eventually it improved. And after I finished my piano degree, that's when I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot at doing more singing. Because by that time it was a bit better. I actually went and did a singing degree, a master's in contemporary voice, which was like jazz singing. So yeah, like that was a big shift for me from, thinking I was going to be a pianist to like jazz singing, pop singing,
Yeah.
like whoa.
Well, Dami, speaking of jazz singing, I'm going to play a song for our audience now of yours called I Hear a Song, which has got that kind of jazz feel to it, so, or flavour to it, I suppose. Can you give us a bit of an introduction to this song?
Yeah, so that's the title track of my album called I Hear a Song, which was, is a jazz influenced album. And I wrote that song with Rick Price, who is an amazing Australian
Yeah.
artist, and he produced the album, and we wrote that song together over in Nashville. So yeah, it's a song about how I am sitting there getting inspired to write a song.
Fantastic. Let's play this track today. This is Dami Im and I Hear a Song.
In the wee small hours of the morning, before the break of dawn, while the air is still and quiet, and I lie awake alone.
That was Dami Im there, and I Hear a Song. Dami is joining us on ABC Central West this morning. She's coming to Orange next week as part of her latest tour, and she's joining us ahead of that show. I'll bring you some more details on that show and how you can head along as well at the end of this interview. Dami, from the X Factor stage to another incredible, huge stage, Eurovision, another huge moment in your career. What was that like?
That was something that just it changed my life.
Yeah.
So dramatic, but just being able to represent Australia on such a huge scale, on a global scale, was a huge honor. And yeah, just being there amongst all these artists that represented all these different countries in Europe and being part of that was so much fun. And I just loved watching everyone else, their performance and their songs because everyone was so different. Everyone was completely different. And even though it was a competition, it was so friendly. Like everyone wanted to support each other. And, I had to go and perform in their parties and they had came to my party. And it was all like, yeah, it was like a big party with, yeah, the television thing like that was a lot of pressure, so it wasn't easy, but then also it was so much fun at the same time because it's just, yeah, everyone's happy and celebrating the whole time.
What did it change for you musically?
I entered with my song Sound of Silence, which I was very happy with the song. It's a very strong, great song, but I knew it was a competition, and in a competition, you need to stand out from the get-go. And I guess being on X Factor sort of trained me for that because I knew in a competition, you can't just sing a nice song. Like people will be like, oh, that's nice, but I'm not going to vote for her. Yeah, I needed to amp it up. So I changed it up and put in maximum vocals, just altered it in that live version. And I think, yeah, musically, people were shocked. They were like, "Oh my gosh, like we know the song." They've already listened to the song, but because it was so different. So yeah, I think it trained me to sort of, just give everything I have on that stage and just be laser focused on that performance.
Fantastic. What's come of that time at Eurovision? Were there any direct results of that kind of exposure?
Yes, so the song ended up charting in I don't know the number, but like everywhere in the
Mm.
world, which, that was like, oh my gosh, as an artist, that's like such a dream. And yeah, I've had fans fly in to Australia from Europe to come to my shows.
Wow.
And yeah, like that's, it's Australia is so far away, but to have that sort of love come in yeah, I feel very like privileged and honored.
Yeah, that's incredible. We're talking to Dami Im this morning, who is coming to Orange next week as part of her latest tour. Dami, your tour is called Dreamer. Your Dreamer tour starts this weekend. Have you always been a big dreamer?
Yes, I think so. I loved always talking about dreams and just thinking about like, oh, what could I do and what could I do with my life? Like I want
Yeah.
to do something big and exciting. And it's always changed slightly for me, but yeah, I just like having big dreams and I feel like I've achieved so much more than what I had anticipated. So yeah, but yeah, I just love the word dream because it's so full of hope.
Dami, what's next for you?
After I perform at the Orange Civic Theatre,
Yeah.
I'm releasing a new single in September, which is so exciting. It's called "Crying Underwater," so I'll be previewing the song before it comes out in my show, which
Oh,
is exciting.
great.
But yeah, I'll be releasing. I'm working towards an album, hopefully for next year. After that, there's some really exciting opportunities coming up in Australia and outside of Australia internationally as well. So, yeah, lots of things happening.
Yeah, lots to look forward to by the sounds. Dami, we're going to finish our chat today. I'm going to play your Eurovision song. Can you give us a bit of detail around the writing process of this song?
So, this song was specifically written with Eurovision in mind. So, it's about feeling that distance between you and somebody you love and trying to, connect through the phone or technology and still feeling like you're not in touch with them. It's a sad song, but it's a powerful song as well.
Dami, thank you so much for joining us on ABC Central West today. We'll finish up this chat with your song, Sound of Silence. Thank you again. And look, have a great trip to Orange, won't you?
Yes, I'm looking forward to being there again.
Thank you. That is Dami Im there. Heading to Orange next week. She's performing at the Orange Civic Theatre on Friday, August 9. For tickets, head to the Orange Civic Theatre website. There's a link there to take you to purchasing those tickets. This is Dami Im and Sound of Silence.
Growing tired and weary, brown.
That is Dami Im there. So great to talk to Dami on the program today.